That's nothing to look past as well. If you beat Mike Brown, you're pretty serious.
Yeah, that's definitely, again, on his side, some competition, some name recognition of guys he's been in there with, and back and forth, victories over, maybe drop fights. But again, that level of experience is just incredible.
All right, we are ready for our official introductions. Let's throw it in the ring to Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 9th bout on the card is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division and is sponsored by bookmaker.eu. Let's meet our fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 154 1/2 pounds. He holds a professional record of 32 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. And he fights out of Provo, Utah, Super Steven SILER. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. He holds a professional record of 20 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. And he fights out of Schaumburg, Illinois, introducing Will Brooks.
All right, gentlemen out front. All right, guys, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Make sure you obey my commands. We're going to have a clean fight. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Come out fighting.
3 5-minute rounds is what we are scheduled for here at the Bonjour Wellness Center in Greenville, South Carolina. Eric Apple, I'm once again joined by none other than the former heavyweight champion of the world. His name is Frank Mir, and we are ready for 15 minutes of big action. Steven SILER opened up with a low kick, and Will Brooks, he returns the favor to the body. Big shot. Oh.
Nice timing on a shot for Will Brooks. You know, a lot of people go, oh, you got to come behind punches. But there, the punches were actually done by Steven SILER, who brought his hips in, throwing punches. Will made a miss, changed levels, and took a shot. That actually is a textbook example of when you don't necessarily have to throw a punch before a takedown.
That takedown was so quick. I mean, that's indicative of a lifetime of fast twitch muscles doing that exact double leg.
Well, you're slipping as punches are coming towards you at the right moment, because if you slip too late, you get hit. You slip too early and you rush the moment, then you're showing off timing. It's not going to be the situation you're not going to create. And great job here. He's trying to control that bottom wrist, and Steven identifies that and is turning away from it, but all it did was give up his back flat to the mat. And right now, Will again driving him down. They both know that they're fighting for that far wrist. The right arm of Steven SILER is what the battle's occurring over right now. Even though Will's driving forward, keeping his weight on that shoulder, he's waiting for him to put his elbow down to rebuild, and he's trying to grab it. See, right there. Perfect. He bit on it. Now he has it behind the arm. Now watch. If he triangles his legs, Will Brooks.
This is a bad position.
Oh, it's a horrible position. He's going to be able to rain down fury with that left hand, and Will's going to do nothing but be able to just barely block and try to survive. This is a fight-ending position, people.
Miss SILER, though.
Will, great job of just, sorry to cut you off.
Just like we expected. He's a survivor.
Yeah, he got it out of that. That wasn't actually the right way to get out of that, but hey, he got out of it. He used a lot of cardio and drove and just bit down on his mouthpiece. He drilled hard into that to get rid of it. And thankfully, because if he would not, he would have been in a horrible position.
And these are two total different sides of the coin. Will Brooks is such a compact 155-pounder.
Yeah, and right now, he was able to press down the legs across, and now he jumped over. He's in a leg drag position. If he just controls that bottom arm, Will Brooks again, with an underhook, he's going to have him flattened pretty hard.
Will is just a smashing type of guard passer and ground control guy.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Downward pressure, make the guy carry you. And now Steven SILER's doing a good job. Now he's worked his way back up to a butterfly hook. That's going to be able to allow him to use his shin as a wedge to create distance and keep Will Brooks' weight off of him.
SILER once again using that open butterfly to kind of elevate his opponent and keeping him mostly on guard now.
Yeah, hey, look, a butterfly hook, you can't pass. Because now if Will doesn't get rid of that hook and just tries to drive around the corner, he'll get thrown to his back. And so here, he's doing a good job. He floated over the top of it to get put back in full guard, which I feel this is a much better position, actually, for Will Brooks. He now doesn't have anything impeding him as far as no wedges in between him and Steven SILER.
Now, Frank, it's been almost exactly 2 years as you see the fighters get stood up. It's been almost exactly 2 years since Will Brooks has fought. Do you think this is good for him to have a first round like this and kind of get warmed up and get back into the action?
I agree. You know, having some time in there, moving around, it gets you used to and knock off that rust. Because, I mean, you can train as hard as you want in the gym. There's nothing like having a couple thousand people screaming, lights on.
Oh. Steven SILER touched it with a straight right and a left hook. And, man, Will Brooks came back with such a quick snatch on that single leg.
Snatch head outside single, pulled him right down. And he's back inside the guard, the butterfly guard.
I mean,
actually, Steven there abandoned it. He pulled off the hook.
I've seen high-level wrestling all my life, but I'm very impressed by the quickness and the takedowns from Will Brooks.
Yeah, that was a nice, we call it like a snatch single. Pull your hands out, drive in. You don't overly commit to your shoulder until you get the guy off balance. Now Will's doing a good job of keeping his head in proper position. Steven's holding that overhook, but so far hasn't been able to do anything with it. Now he's got double underhooks, but more of a stalling position, which, with how fast that one stoppage was over there, stand-up, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. South Carolina Commission doesn't like stalling, I guess.
No, they don't like ground fight. They want to see them get on their feet, which I get it. Oh, here he comes. Actually, I'm surprised they haven't stood it up yet.
Oh, a big right elbow on the inside there. And Steven SILER is crafty.
Yeah, he looked to create range and a frame with his upper body using the forearms, and then as there was enough space, he slid that elbow in.
I saw an interesting position I'm going to ask you about after the round. We see it once again. Steven SILER has both arms underhook position. Now, there is a trick there where you can crush the ribs, correct?
Yeah, if you have the butterfly in, you can really put a lot of pressure on someone's rib cage. It's like a spinal lock. But from the closed guard, it's hard to generate that kind of forward pressure on the hips.
Have you ever seen the one where
guys,
guys
they reach down, from there they reach over their hands. I've seen guys pull that off.
It's not very common. It's kind of a dirty trick. And sometimes you'll see guys like panic tap.
Yes.
And let's take a look at some of these replays, these takedowns of Will Brooks.
Will doing a good job of just timing, taking the shot at the appropriate time. Not necessarily setting him up with punches, but he's using Steven SILER's punches. When Steven's throwing shots, moving forward. Here again, saw the jab. He jumps on that snatch single, pulls it out, and is able to get his head across to avoid any guillotine damage.
And I think this is a big right elbow he tried right there, but I'm not sure if it quite connected. But what I see from Will Brooks is what I think the coaches call chain wrestling.
Yes.
You shoot the double leg, and you turn the corner and try something else, and you keep it going because you overwhelm your opponent. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. Every motion you create, there's a defense for it. But then that defense also has a counter. So if you wrestle and chain your movements together as your opponent's trying to escape each movement, opportunities expose themselves and open up, and that's how you accomplish a goal. Much easier at this level, just one shot, one hit. It doesn't happen.
All right, here we go. Our second of 3 5-minute rounds. Steven SILER taking on Will Brooks. Steven SILER having fun with his hands down there. He's a veteran of the game, like we said, his 55th fight, and he's starting to enjoy himself. Look at him with hands down.
And he came forward again with punches and a nice time shot again from Will Brooks.
Yeah, he wanted to play the stand-up game with his hands down, kind of baiting Will Brooks in, and Will Brooks didn't have any of it.
No, smart on Will's part to go ahead and say, hey, I like the percentages of my victory in this position, with you on your back and me on top, especially here in the leg drag position, where he's past the legs essentially, but sitting on the hips. So he's forcing Steven to face the wrong direction essentially. Steven now is actually keeping his feet hooked in there, which is actually impeding his own progress. He let the feet go, so now he can go to all four. And now Will staying behind the arms, feeding in the leg ride. Let's see if he's able to flatten him out.
Good position for Will Brooks. He's advanced now, taking the back, trying to get the hooks in. And this is a very, very dominant position in the eyes of the judges.
Yeah, Steven was rolling for a knee bar. Very aware of it, Will was able to jump off and avoid the triangle. And he's behind that arm again. Steven's doing a good job of getting his weight off his hands, trying to move back, using the cage as a third leg to balance himself. And Will, you see, is trying to drive forward.
There's a switch.
There's your switch, yep. Oh, he jumped over for the guillotine.
Interesting.
But the legs are going to make it very difficult the way he's passing to be able to finish. Tyler's going to have to pull his left knee across, get in the hip, and Will jumped completely over.
Man, just a smothering style from Will Brooks. And that's not really a surprise, is it?
It's not fun to fight that. Every time you hit a move, your guy improves his position. He doesn't make big movements and lose you. So it's kind of like you feel like you're in mud. You're constantly moving, and every movement they get tighter. Now he's on his chest, past his legs. So now Steven Siler's having to carry his weight there. It's smothering. You can't breathe.
That was a word I was going to use. This is definitely Will Brooks smothering his
Smothering,
opponent.
yes. Yeah, here he's trying to get back up to his feet, only to take more shots. Will's passing the guard again. He's going to stuff that knee down probably.
If you were in the corner of Steven Siler, what would you be telling your fighter, or what is open to attack on Will Brooks?
Right now, he's got to create distance by getting a frame in there. A lot of his movements, when he has the butterfly, see here like this guillotine, it doesn't really keep Will off you. You're threatening with the guillotine, but see, he's still on top of you, still attached to you. So I would say go, hey, for frames, put a forearm in there. Create distance, get space, let's get off. This guy wants to be close. Well, if you want to be close to me, I probably don't want you to be close to me. And right now, Will's going to fold that wrist down again and reach behind and try to crush him down. But Steven Siler ends up going flat to his back with the butterfly.
We are over 3 minutes through this second of 3 5-minute rounds. 1 minute 45 seconds to go. Will Brooks has been smothering his opponent the entire time, controlling the action here at XMMA, presented by Chain Mind. Also want to thank Head Rush, of course, as Bull Nutrition, helping to make this possible. And Steven Siler is still fighting off of his back.
Yeah, now he created a little bit of a frame with his hand. See, there's a frame with his left hand. Now he needs to put his shins across to create more distance. And then maybe with that mid-distance, he can create a triangle, omoplata armbar. But right now, how crushed in Will is, this makes it hard to do a lot of jiu-jitsu. Your guy is essentially smothering the jiu-jitsu. Only thing available to you at that moment, if he pushes in too hard, are sweeps. He can hit a flower sweep.
Interesting there, covering up his mouth, smothering him with his hand as well. Definitely veteran moves here.
100%. Will's doing everything textbook for Top Game. There he's driving his hips forward, keeping basically Steven Siler's knees. There, nice triangle attempt.
Yep.
Armbar, and the switch over. And see, there's the smothering style. That was great. Steven Siler he went for the triangle to the armbar. And as soon as he failed, he's still not in a good position.
Yep.
He still has Will's weight on top of him, and Will's coming forward. That's fatiguing.
Very high level wrestling. Somewhat of a tight guillotine, but it's in the half guard.
Yeah, this is really not impossible, but this is not a high probability guillotine. I've seen guys tap from there, but usually it's more a testament to them and not really the guy doing the submission.
Will looks pretty comfortable in there. Less than 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, is his arm stuck in there too, or is he able to do the Von Flew, I wonder? I can't see from this angle.
He looks fine.
Oh yeah, no, he's...
And you saw Steven as his opponent got up. He was looking at him in the eye. He was trying to figure out how effective his guillotine was.
Wanting to see if it sapped out, was close at all, because even if that doesn't finish your opponent, maybe it saps some energy out of him before you go into the third round. But honestly, I think Will was completely fine. Realized he had the round one pretty much solidly.
Yeah.
I was just, catching a few. He started his 1 minute break a little early.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, if you're Will Brooks, this is going pretty much as the plan. I mean, he's getting some good time in the cage.
Yes.
Really working himself against a game opponent, and he's got to be happy with his progress so far.
Ecstatic. This is by the numbers. The only hiccup in there for a little bit was towards the end of that second round when Steven was able to throw up the triangle, transition to that arm bar. It did cause him a little bit of panic on Will's part, but other than that, this has been a Will Brooks exhibition.
And I want to say that, you know, it's cool when Steven Siler is walking forward with his hands forward, showing how confident he is. But he walked straight in that takedown. I think that was tactically a mistake.
Well, you know what? Taking down his hands, I think he thought that, Will's going to throw if I put my hands down. And
Yeah.
Will didn't. Experienced guy. He didn't take the bait. He took a shot. So I think that was a calculated risk from Steven Siler that I understand why he did it.
Right back to the same position. And that's the smart money.
Yeah. Here, Will, I mean, it's hard to get knocked out from inside someone's guard. You know what I mean? Like, it's, accidents don't usually happen. And now, especially third round, statistically, submissions drop because of sweat, fatigue, blood. It's harder to get a submission at this point. not impossible. They're still there. But
Now, and talk to me about the distance on the ground that Will Brooks has. I feel like he's either all the way close up against him or far away, because in the middle, that's where the danger is, right?
100%. Yeah, that's where the danger room roams, right? So Will is doing a good job of being too close now. Like right here, he's smothering Steven. Steven's reaching over and grabbing. So there's no frame, there's no wedge between the two of them. He needs something to create a little bit of space, because right now Will's too tight. It's almost impossible to get a triangle to throw up an armbar when a guy is that deep inside your guard pressing. Here, that middle range, now something can happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, when Will is that close, is there any kind of submission that you can get when your opponent's head is on your chest or your neck?
At best, what I'm looking for is to cross your arm over your body, maybe hit drags, hit throw-bys, and try to hit a corner to go around you. Or I like flower sweeps, but you have to be very confident with them, because you are going to put one arm underneath, but you change the angle and throw somebody over. But other than that, if guys crush you like that, you got to create wedges.
So we've been about a minute and 45 seconds here into the third and final round. Will Brooks on top, inside the guard, controlling once again. You got to imagine he's up 2 rounds to none on the judges' scorecards. This could go the same way as the first 2.
It is, and
now he's starting to pass.
Yep, looking for the pass.
And Steven, again, replaces his guard pretty well.
He does. He has a great, you know what? His bottom game is not bad. It's actually very good jiu-jitsu-wise, except for he's not creating the frames necessary, because here's the problem. Sometimes no-gi grappling, it's a different style. I can't just crush in and smother you. I don't score points that way. They're not going to reward me for that in a jiu-jitsu match. So sometimes guys, when they only grapple jiu-jitsu in the gym for their MMA practice, they don't get used to a guy like Will Brooks, because this isn't jiu-jitsu grappling. That's MMA grappling from the top. So you have to know how to create those frames in middle distance. That's why I've always tell people, no-gi grappling is different than MMA grappling.
Man, great trip takedown there from Will Brooks. Steven SILER took one shot, and Will Brooks ducked under, got the clinch, hit that takedown trip immediately with 2 minutes to go here in the third and final round. The fans are getting a little bit restless, but this is going exactly to the playbook for Will Brooks.
If I'm Will Brooks' corner, I'm like, we don't care. You know what I mean? You're going to sign the paycheck, go home, 2-year layoff. You know what? It wasn't exciting, but you have an excuse why. You got in there, you got rounds. Dangerous guy like Steven SILER. Look at that dangerous omoplata attempt that he had to roll out of.
I mean, I talked about it. I mean, he is scrappy, isn't he?
100%. Steven has been in this battle. There hasn't, you can see guys. I've watched it. The guy's wilting. He's starting to quit. He's looking for an excuse out of here.
Steven's
nice high guard there for Steven.
And he's finally framing up a little bit.
He is. And the high guard's a way to create a frame, because if you can put pressure with your legs over the shoulder, you can keep someone off you. But right now, the double underhook in closed guard, unless you have a referee who's going to start the fight over, it doesn't do anything for you. It's kind of like holding on and waiting.
15th and final minute has begun here at XMMA, the Bon Secure Wellness Center. My name is Eric Apple. I'm joined by Frank Mir. We are watching Will Brooks so far continue to dominate his matchup against Steven SILER. But Steven has 40 seconds to make something happen.
Yeah, nice takedowns for Will. Obviously, people would like to see a little bit more action on the ground, but he's fighting a guy. I mean, that's not so much that Will's not trying to be active on the ground, but he has a guy in Steven SILER who's very dangerous off his back. If Will doesn't keep that forward crushing pressure.
Spinning back fist, flying knee and some kicks.
Look how calm Will is.
SILER.
Totally unimpressed. All right, whatever.
Wow, look at that. That's as pretty as it gets from the duck under double leg.
Hey, Steven did what he had to do.
As pretty as it gets.
Throw caution to the wind, going crazy. And Will Brooks did what he's supposed to do. Hey, I'm not going to do nothing crazy. This is a check mark in the victory box, and I'm going to go home a winner.
Well, Will Brooks easily dominated the fight. And he's having that with some fans telling him to keep their mouth shut for booing. Yeah, Will Brooks, I'll tell you what, for a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years, He's in shape, he's strong, and he's quick. He looks like he's ready to go once again.
Absolutely. Hey, that was textbook stuff, guys. You know, as far as timing of the takedown, I give him an A+.
Yeah.
On top control, A+. You know, did he extend and do anything crazy to make something happen? Well, no, but he didn't have to. Everything he was doing put him easily in the driver's seat. Nice hand combination there. Off angle with a shot there. And basically at that point, just close enough distance, Steven SILER.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, considering that Will Brooks has been out for 2 years. Now, we've
Smart
seen
fight.
him in the past have really, really good hands. We saw his exchanges with Michael Chandler in the past. He put Chandler down. So, I mean, he's a guy that can fight on the feet if he needs to. He just didn't need to this time. And I think he just wanted to get 15 minutes of work in. But I think we are ready for our official decision. So let's throw it into the ring to Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 full rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for the official decision. All of our judges are in agreement, ruling this a unanimous decision, declaring your winner, Will Brooks.
Well, no surprise, of course, Will Brooks dominated all 3 of those
Hey,
rounds.
guys, hey, great victory coming off of a 2-year layoff. Your takedowns, your ground control, everything looked super sharp. Was that what we were looking for to do in the fight coming out tonight?
Not really. I wanted to push a harder pace, a quicker pace. I thought in a lot of his fights that I saw, he usually went to his half guard or rolled to his hip, and you were able to pass over his right leg easily. And I was looking to do that, roll him up on his post arm, and just score with the left, but he's a lot stronger than what I was expecting.
Yeah, his ground game kept you constantly on guard, even though you were forward pressure. What was he doing mostly that threw you off? You had a hard time. I seen you hunting for the wrist. I seen you hunting for the side. What were you feeling there that was causing him to create the scrambles?
Just strong hips. He had really strong hips, and not just like, when a lot of times you see a guy with strong hips, he's throwing up triangles, throwing up arm bars, things like that, but just rocking his hips back and forth. It was really hard to keep his back flat to the floor, and again, try to pass that guard and roll him up on that arm. He caught on to what I was trying to do, so I had to just grind it out.
It was a super smart fight. I like what I saw. But now that you come back into fight action, healthy, ready to go, what are we looking for the rest of the year?
Man, I'm just trying to stay busy, you know. I'll take a minute really quick, and Kyle right here, man, this guy's been awesome. This is an incredible job for being the second fighter this year. For them to find a venue like this has been incredible, to give these young fighters an opportunity and to give me an opportunity to get going again, you know. So if they got something coming up, I'll get ready for that. And it's just kind of trying to, wake my body up. It's been 2 years, you know.
I get layoffs. Hey, your winner, Will Brooks.